Don't let the butterflies out.
I hope this video brings a smile to your face. This trip was special. Our first time overseas together in 13 years. It was about adventure, about family, and about creating memories that last a lifetime. Our journey began with a long flight with a stopover in Singapore. In Singapore, we found a little oasis in the butterfly garden. I've been here a couple of times before, but I've never videoed it, so I'm really glad that I was able to capture it this time. These delicate, beautiful little creatures resting on slices of pineapple remind me of how life is full of contrast, vibrant beauty alongside quiet simplicity. We wandered through the airport, discovering magic in unexpected places. These are koi fish, or maybe a type of Japanese or Chinese carp. Koi are symbols of love and friendship in Japan. We didn't really have the money for extravagant shopping or anything here, so we just grabbed a bite to eat while we waited for our next flight. I don't think I'd be feeling scared with a police officer chasing me on one of these little police scooters, just saying. This airport is quite big, so it has like these little shuttle trains that you catch to get to your terminal, and along the way here is the jewel, so it's like a rainforest with a waterfall in the middle of it. How amazing is that? I wonder if Paul could build us one of these in our off-grid property in Australia. And this is the famous orchid and koi fish pond, which was initially built in, I think, 1997. It's got some beautiful orchids in there, as well as those beautiful fish. And as we headed in for landing that night in Bangkok, the city revealed itself, a vast glowing maze stretching as far as the eye could see, rivers of light twisting through the darkness, highways pulsing like veins in a living thing. Bangkok greeted us with its energy. This was about 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and the streets were bustling, bright lights, and the hum of a city that never slows down. And after 22 hours of travel, we were exhausted, but we'd made it, and that first sip of cold water, that complimentary water in our hotel room, never seemed to taste better. Sometimes it's the simplest things that bring the most relief.
As the day breaks, the smog is evident in the city. Horses roaming the plains. No, that looks like a steakhouse. Steak. I've come to the other side of the Serengeti, into the boys' room, the other side of the hotel.
The all-you-can-eat buffet breakfast at the Carlton Hotel was just amazing. There were so many different varieties and choices, and our teenage boys made the most of it, filling their plates up 4-5 times. And on the first morning at 10 a.m, our guide, Miss Markey, picked us up from our hotel lobby, and she made sure we would see it all. The tuk-tuk took us through streets that had seen more life than I could even imagine. And Bangkok roared around us, a beast of metal and movement so different from the land we had come from. We're an off-grid family from Australia. We're used to quiet mornings, wide open spaces, and the hum of nature, not the noise of a bustling city. I never thought I was a city person, but by the end of our trip to Thailand, Bangkok had stolen a piece of my heart. The chaos, the food, the people, it just felt alive and fun and welcoming. We had stepped into a world that felt impossibly big, impossibly loud, and yet full of something I didn't know I needed. On our first day in Bangkok, it was great that we had Miss Markey, who knew the city like the lines in her hands. I handed over a pile of baht to her, and in return she led us through the maze of Bangkok's history, and we headed off to the Grand Palace. And the cars, motorbikes, taxis, buses and tuk-tuks all moving in a dance that feels like it should end in disaster, but it never does. Passing by Chinatown, the red and gold lanterns swung overhead, their glow casting long shadows over the vendors selling roast duck, dim sums and exotic fruits in the streets below. Here, Bangkok felt different, older, richer, a world within a world. We would have liked to have explored Chinatown more, but we didn't get time on this trip. And our driver never seemed to have any fear, but this little tuk-tuk wasn't meant to handle all these people, so we ended up having to stop and grab a second tuk-tuk. After the boys and Miss Markey got in the other tuk-tuk, our engine growled back to life and we were part of it again, thrown into the current of Bangkok's streets, dodging cars, squeezing through impossible gaps and trusting a stranger with our lives. It was wild, it was reckless and exhilarating. I think the road rules here are just mere suggestions. Our driver swerved to cut across lanes, squeezed between buses and barely a breath of space. Everybody was cutting off everybody, but nobody was angry. It was all just part of the dance. And we all clutched the metal bars, half laughing, half holding our breath. The chaos had a rhythm, a life of its own. Travelling from downtown Sukhumvit to the Grand Palace in Bangkok by tuk-tuk offers a unique and immersive experience through the city's vibrant streets. The distance between these two locations is approximately 11.6 kilometres, and travel by tuk-tuk can vary based on the traffic conditions, especially during peak hours, but the journey should take around 30 to 45 minutes. But I'm pretty sure we got there a lot quicker than that. So if you choose to take a tuk-tuk in Bangkok, you need to agree on a fare with the driver before starting the journey. Another thing we learnt on the first day was that the drivers don't actually know the street numbers of the roads, especially Sukhumvit Road. I think it's one of the longest roads in Thailand. So they go on the area or the section of the road, which they called soi. So you might, instead of saying 491 Sukhumvit Road, you're going to say which area it's in. So which soi, which I think was 21 for the hotel we were staying at. The tuk-tuk driver that was following the other tuk-tuk that the boys were in fell behind a little bit. So basically this driver veered into the wrong side of the road and we just headed straight into the storm of oncoming traffic. And he was just laughing at our fear and our gasps, and we clung to the metal of the little cart, breathless and wide-eyed.
Thank you so much. You're not killing us.
No problem, no problem.
The complex around the Grand Palace is not just a place, it's an experience, a spectacle of gold, history and devotion. The moment you step through the gates, it feels like you're stepping into another world, one where every inch is crafted with purpose, where beauty and reverence intertwine. This artwork on the walls is a breathtaking display of Thai craftsmanship and storytelling. It tells the story of the battle between good and evil, featuring the legendary monkey warrior and the demon king. And Ms. Markey told us that some of the gold paint on the artwork and the temples had recently been restored. The intricate details of the murals and temple exteriors had begun to fade over time due to exposure to the elements, so artisans carefully reapplied gold leaf and paint to bring them back to their former brilliance. However, she admitted that she liked the old way better, when the faded paint and worn gold told a deeper story, revealing the passage of time and history within the walls. Ms. Markey also shared a fascinating detail about how to tell the monkey from the demons in the murals. She explained that the monkeys never wear shoes, but the demons always do.
Religious place. One of the world's largest religious complexes.
And as we walked along the mural-covered corridors, the golden hues shimmering in the sunlight, reflecting centuries of devotion and artistry, the battle between the monkey warriors and the demons unfolded in each panel, a reminder of Thailand's deep-rooted mythology and cultural pride. To enter the temples at the Grand Palace, visitors must follow a strict dress code out of respect for Thai culture and Buddhism. This means covering your shoulders, knees and midriff, and you also have to take off your shoes.
Flower. This is we call holy water. This is like a blessing ceremony by monk, and then normally people they will dip the holy water with a flower, and then they put like being blessing, like healthy.
It's a blessing.
Happy wife, happy life.
So true.
Good boy. Some boy, lots of girls. Right. Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. Can you
Happy. Lucky, money. Happy. Yeah.
Look at all those trees there, they're amazing.
They do look amazing. The Grand Palace rose before us like something out of a tale. The Grand Palace is a breathtaking masterpiece, a dazzling blend of Thai and European architecture that leaves you in awe. And we also got to see the changing of the guards.
And the image up there, the photo, is this one?
Yeah, that's number 5.
Number 5? Yeah, okay.
So he brings a lot of training to China. It's too hot, come on.
It is hot, isn't it?
I was going to say, these ones are probably the old ones, they'd be old.
When we left the Grand Palace complex, it was just after lunch and the heat was almost unbearable. The sun reflected off the gleaming golden rooftops, making everything feel even hotter. We were sticky with sweat and in desperate need of something cold. We spotted a street vendor selling fresh coconuts. You want to eat the meat?
Oh, bit of the flesh, yeah. You want to grab that out, yeah?
Oh, is all the water gone?
Oh, yeah.
Pull out the straws?
Yeah, finish it off.
The first sip of the icy coconut water was pure relief. Sweet, refreshing, exactly what we needed. We stood on the street for a moment, just drinking the coconut water and letting the coolness wash over us before making our way toward the river. The ferry dock was busy, packed with both locals and tourists moving between both sides of the river. We're heading over to see Wat Arun.
A couple of restaurants, yeah.
All of it is always full booked now. Because like, at the night time they have light show here in front of this.
Yeah, okay.
With the firework. Yeah.
That's downtown area, Sukhumvit down there. And across the river stood Wat Arun. Dating back to the Ayutthaya period, Wat Arun is also known as the Temple of Dawn. This architectural marvel is named after Aruna, the Indian god of dawn, symbolising a beginning of a new day and a fresh start.
This is Thai.
Yeah.
This is too much water. Normally it's not that high like this. So this is Chapaya River, the main river of Bangkok. It's connected to the sea.
Yeah.
About 2 hours.
Oh, right. So it's
So
tidal.
it depends sea level, high tide, low tide, depends sea level.
And what about all the flooding that's been around in Thailand? Has it affected Bangkok?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not long.
Okay.
A few days.
Yeah.
And they have many water kids now. They just release all the water to the other small canals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we can.
Yeah. Miss Markey explained that in most temples, families donate money to help maintain the Buddha statues in the temple grounds. However, this particular temple is special because people also give money to have their ashes placed here. So in a way, it functions like a cemetery, with the families honouring their loved ones by placing their remains in the temple. It adds a deeper sense of reverence to the space, knowing that it's not just a place of worship, but also a resting place for so many. The idea of being laid to rest in such a sacred space, surrounded by prayers and devotion, makes it feel even more significant.
Bạn có thể nhận thấy điều đó từ những người mặc áo không có số cùng nhiếp ảnh ra và đeo thẻ.
We climbed up the steep steps of Wat Arun, but that wasn't the hard part. Getting down was even worse.
Scary.
The steps were incredibly narrow and steep,
Then look at the next.
almost like a ladder, and there were no handrails to hold on. I was terrified of falling, so I took each step cautiously, my heart pounding with every movement. Eli said this was the highlight of his trip so far. Some tourists dress up in traditional Thai clothing, often elaborate silk outfits that are usually only worn for very special occasions like royal ceremonies or religious festivals, just to get their photos taken. And whilst people think it looks beautiful in photos, she personally found it a little disrespectful because Thai people don't casually wear these outfits. Instead, they reserve them for moments of deep cultural significance. And seeing tourists pose in them just for the sake of Instagram felt inauthentic to her. We made a booking to come back for the traditional Thai massage, and then we went to see the Reclining Buddha. The giant reclining gold Buddha in Bangkok, housed in Wat Po, is one of the most iconic and revered religious statues in Thailand. It's 46 metres long, I think, and 15 metres high, and it's covered in gold leaf, and it depicts the Buddha in his final moments before attaining the state of enlightenment after death. This was definitely one of the biggest highlights for me in the trip so far. The soles of the feet of the Buddha are laid with mother of pearl decorations with 108 different symbols which are believed to bring good fortune. This is also one of Thailand's oldest temples and is considered the birthplace of traditional Thai massage. The complex is vast, filled with stunning murals and serene courtyards where monks can be seen going about their daily routines. And this is an art exhibition. So many things. All the things. This lady in white here is a fortune teller, and I'm assuming if you give her money, she'll be able to read your fortune. So the position of the Buddha's hands hold deep symbolic significance in Buddhist teachings, as they represent different aspects of his life, enlightenment and teachings. Each hand gesture tells a part of the Buddha's story and conveys a spiritual lesson. Like this one here with the right hand up and the fingers pointing up is about courage and protection. Ms. Markey dropped us off at the traditional Thai massage place for a massage, and then she headed home, and afterwards we found a spot for a few beers and a bite to eat. Then we had to negotiate the fare back to our hotel with the tuk-tuk drivers. We didn't have a lot of cash left over at the end of the day, but we found a tuk-tuk driver who would eventually take us with the price that we were asking for. So in 2 days' time, we'll head out of the city. We'll catch a bus from Mochit station to Korat, and then my stepmother's little village is not far from Pimai, but we'll have to get picked up from Korat because that's where the bus goes to. So my dad will be arranging some transport for us to get from Korat to their little village. So we're really looking forward to seeing Thailand, deeper Thailand, basically Thailand, authentic Thailand. I think my stepmother Mon is going to take us to the markets and show us everything there, and I think my dad is arranging some massages for us there in Pimai, so we're really looking forward to that. If you look at Pimai on the map of Thailand, it's almost smack bang in the middle of it, very remote, but closer to the Laos and Cambodia side of Thailand. The rush of the city lights, the wind in our hair, the sheer madness of it. It was terrifying and exhilarating all at once. I was just glad we made it back in one piece. There was a bit of confusion about where the driver wanted to drop us off. I think it was just information lost in translation, but we got there eventually. We had a quick swim in the pool at the hotel and a cocktail, and then we found a small street food stall near our hotel because the hotel was too expensive to eat at, but this street food was amazing and it became our favourite place to eat. The flavours, the smells, the warmth of the people serving us. It wasn't luxury, it was about the heart. It's those simple meals shared out underneath the open sky that stay with you.
180 to 250 baht
For your one dish?
from a one dish, yeah. This was dinner.
The next morning, we hired a private car and driver to the railway markets and also the floating markets. The Maeklong Railway Market is one of Bangkok's most unique attractions. What makes it unique is that it's located right on top of a railway line and it runs right through the market a few times a day. When there's no trains around, you can easily forget that this is actually an operating railway line. When the train sounds its horn, it turns straight back into the railway line. There are a lot of people under here and it's under the fold-out umbrellas and it's quite hot and you need to be patient as you walk through the markets.
She's having a good time. Oh, thank goodness.
We walked back to meet our driver to go to the floating markets and we just wandered through the markets that were out on the streets, and I found that was not as crowded and they were very authentic out on the streets as well. There was a big seafood market there as well, which is good to know if you're interested in that kind of thing. Climbing into the boat for the ride to the floating market felt like stepping into the heart of old Bangkok, where the canals were once the city's main roads. The boat rocked gently as we balanced ourselves and took our seats, the driver expertly manoeuvring us into the narrow waterways, just like in the streets of Bangkok.
That ice cream when we catch up.
Hey boys, you want some coconut ice cream?
Huh? Okay, yeah. No, that's all right. He said have it down further.
Okay.
Oh, garlic, huh? Did you see it? What?
No, I didn't see garlic.
Yeah. Smell it.
That is a tight squeeze.
No? Maybe that helps.
Oh, you need a hat? Yeah, you do need a hat. Party time.
When we got to the entrance, the canals were packed with boats, each one weaving in and out, missing each other by what seemed like mere centimetres.
Like anything there? You guys? No. I need. I was going to say I need a hat, but not like this. What sort of hat should I get? Oh yeah, I was just going to say. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's heaps. There's coconut ice cream.
There's some on the hair too.
Arriving at the floating market felt like entering a different world. Brightly coloured umbrellas shading vendors selling everything from handmade crafts to sizzling street food. We couldn't resist the coconut ice cream, served with a real coconut shell, creamy and refreshing against the humid air. And the satay skewers were hot off the grill, smoky and rich with peanut sauce.
Ah, pretty. Show me, Nathaniel. Nice.
Yeah, no, we just bought one. You just bought one.
Nathaniel bought himself a new shirt.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Good luck from Australia.
Thank you.
คนละ150
If you're getting one for me. No, I'm just getting extras.
ขวด50
Paul picked up a new hat, a simple but stylish choice that suited him, but the highlight of his day was holding a couple of lemurs. One of them took a particular liking to him, licking his arm like it had decided that he was his new best friend. I swear if we'd let it, it would have climbed right into our boat and come home with us.
Ơi, được tốt.
As we glided along the banks of the canal, we saw that they were lined with coconut and banana trees, their heavy fruit hanging over the water, and then there was lizards sunning themselves on the edge, lazily watching the boats pass by. While the floating market was an absolute great experience, it was clear that it had become a tourist hotspot. The energy was lively, but I had the feeling that the more authentic floating markets were tucked away somewhere beyond the usual tourist routes. Maybe next time we'll be able to get to see them. And here's a shot of the boys enjoying the view of a different country they've never been to from the road. Mr. In was a lovely, friendly, patient driver, so we organised for him to pick us up again tomorrow. If you're watching this, I hope it reminds you to live, to step beyond what is comfortable, to chase stories worth telling, and to find joy in the unexpected, because one day all we will have are the memories we made, and I want ours to be full of life, of laughter and love. That's why I tell this story. The exchange rate with the Thai baht is in our favour, which meant we could afford a bit of luxury that we wouldn't be able to afford normally back home in Australia. Things like staying in a nice hotel now felt quite reasonable. Little indulgences like massages or rooftop cocktails and private tours were well within our budget now. After the markets, we got back to the hotel room and had a little rest before we decided to get ready to go up to the rooftop bar to have a cocktail together.
The only thing is, because I don't have an SD card, then they will.
After we had some cocktails, we headed across the road to our favourite street vendor for dinner. Getting a meal out at street food was cheaper than buying a cocktail at the Carlton Hotel.
He's asking me to go. Yeah, a beer for
That night we sat at a small plastic table eating the best meal of our trip. It wasn't grand, it wasn't expensive, but it was amazing. At the end of our holiday, Eli said that this was his favourite place to eat. And after dinner, we went and had a foot massage, which was amazing. After a few days of walking around, exploring temples, markets and palaces, our feet were completely exhausted. So luckily, the next day we take a bus ride to see my family for Christmas.
Eating chili chicken, Mocha Station.
You don't have to have your New Zealand accent on.